Wait, what time is it? Oh, Jesus, it's almost 5 a.m. I should probably get some sleep. Gotta keep my phone charged. Huh? Holy crap, a new character's getting revealed today? Yes! Wait. It's scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time. That's only 4 hours from now. I want to see it live, but I also want to get some sleep. What should I do? I probably should get some sleep, but seeing it live is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Screw it. I'm staying up. Alright, 1 hour in. I'm feeling pretty good. Playing some Smash to pass the time. This'll be a piece of cake. I'm getting a little drowsy, but I'm fine. Only an hour and a half to go. Oh crap! 5 minutes! Oh man, I wonder who it's gonna be! There was that rumor circulating that it could be Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes, but there's also a lot of people saying that it might be Crash. No matter who it is, I'm excited. I'm just dying for a new character. Oh my god, it's happening! Oh my god, it's Mario! I'm kidding. Wait a minute. Mario? Sonic? Crash? The iconic rival trio, it's gotta be! Huh? Wait. No, there's no way, Was that an Enderman? No, what? You... What? Minecraft? What? No.
What?
Steve in Smash.
Wait, seriously?
What's happening?
Steve in Smash.
What? Win?
Look it up.
Oh my god!
Steve in Smash.
What are you failures doing?
Steve in Smash.
What?
Now, if you can't tell, I'm very happy about Steve's inclusion in Smash Ultimate. A lot of what you saw in the skit was exaggerated for comedic effect, but I really am genuinely ecstatic for him. Minecraft is one of my all-time favorite video games, and the fact that its iconic main character gets a spot as a playable fighter in Smash Bros is just mind-blowing to me, and I still can't quite believe it when I see him on the roster. Like, look at this. It doesn't even look real! I'm seeing it right in front of me, but my brain is unable to process that this is real and actually in the game. Now, aside from my personal love for Steve and his source material, I feel that he's just a great addition to the Smash roster in general. Sakurai did a great job designing this character, and I love how he was able to take the creativity of Minecraft and perfectly reflect that within Steve's moveset. However, there are a lot of people who disagree with me. A lot of people aren't personally all that hype about Steve's inclusion, and honestly, I kind of understand where they're coming from. Most people who aren't excited for Steve aren't avid fans of Minecraft, and I can understand how a character like Steve could be pretty disappointing to see instead of someone like Crash, or Sora, or even Master Chief, and I can respect that. If you aren't all that hyped for Steve, no worries, to each their own. Seeing as how Sakurai is aiming to please everyone with this game, I'm sure you'll get your rep of choice in no time. But me? Gungaga. But me? I'm beyond pleased with Steve. So pleased that I think it's safe to say that he's my favorite DLC inclusion so far. So today, I'm going to talk about why Steve's inclusion in Smash means so much to me. Alright, first, let's go over my history with Minecraft itself. To do that, we need to rewind all the way back to spring break of 2013. I was 7 years old, and my catalog of games at the time consisted of Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pikmin, along with some other miscellaneous Wii games. We had an Xbox 360, but at the time, I didn't really use it for much more than playing random Xbox Live arcade games, so the Wii was pretty much my go-to system. But one day, that all changed. I remember it like it was yesterday. My parents were going to the store to get groceries, and I had to go with them, because I was but a child. While in the car, my dad would usually let me have his phone to watch YouTube on. I'd never look anything up, and I'd only watch whatever came up in the recommended videos section. Usually, due to me, there was stuff like Smosh and Annoying Orange. However, this time, there was a different type of video. A type of video that I had never seen before. It was an episode from Tobuscus's Minecraft Survival Let's Play series. The thumbnail was pretty intriguing, especially so for a little kid, so I clicked on it. I had heard kids at my school mention Minecraft before, but I had never seen gameplay of it. The moment that the video began, my eyes were glued to the screen. I couldn't really tell what all was going on, but what I did notice is that it was open world and that you could build. At the time, the concept of a game that allowed you to explore freely with almost no limitations was completely foreign to me, and when I realized that this game allowed you to explore a world however you wanted, as well as having the freedom to mold it to your liking, I was instantly sold. As soon as we got home, I watched some more videos on it, one of them being the official trailer. I showed it to my dad and he was sold too. That night, I bought the game on Xbox 360 and I went to bed while it was downloading. That next morning was probably one of the best days of my entire life. The very second I woke up, I was running downstairs to get on the Xbox to try out the game. I started my first survival world, which I promptly named the Kingdom of Cube. Creative, I know. I spent my first 30 minutes or so just walking around and seeing what the game had to offer. I ended up starving to death once and being killed by a skeleton the other. I didn't know how to play, and I didn't like how I was being killed, so I turned to the internet to find out how to play. Yes, I know there was a tutorial world on the Xbox 360 edition, but I was stupid, okay? After watching a tutorial on how to build, I noticed that the guy in the video didn't have hearts or a hunger bar. In fact, he couldn't be damaged by enemies at all. I wanted to figure out how to be invincible like him so that I could build and explore all I wanted. I messed around with the world options for a minute or two and soon came to realize that this invincibility mode was called creative mode. I set my game mode to creative and I went back to the Kingdom of Cube. By then, the world was in my hands. I started by building a house. And another house. And then another house. I built like a solid 12 houses in that world, no joke. I was not at all good at building yet, but I kept trying to make different styles of houses using all sorts of different blocks. Looking back, just about every one of them is an absolute abomination that would make Grian shudder, but it was definitely a start. After building nothing but houses for a few days, I began to move on to more interesting things like skyscrapers, rocket ships, and statues. Again, these other builds were pretty awful, but they were all very useful in teaching me the fundamentals of building. Around summer of that same year was when I got the Java edition on PC. Pretty soon after, my first redstone phase began. My first experience with redstone was when I found out that it could be used to detonate TNT. That was also the moment that I discovered that TNT actually functioned. I guess before that I thought it was just decoration or something. I don't know, don't judge me. After figuring out that I could cause mass destruction with TNT and maybe going through a small griefer phase, I decided to see what other things I could do with redstone. This was when I discovered AC Tennis AC. AC Tennis was a Minecraft content creator on YouTube who made insanely complex redstone contraptions and showcased them in videos. He was basically a younger, simpler version of Seth Bling, who at the time and even to this day makes stuff that is just way too much for my mind to comprehend. He made giant mechs, working printers, and even time machines, but one video that really resonated with me was a video where he showcased his build of a redstone rocket. This video blew my mind when I was little, and I was desperate to figure out how to build it. He rarely made tutorial videos for his redstone builds, and if he ever did, they were usually for simpler ones. For weeks, even months, I tried to figure out how this build worked, but I never could. Over the next few months, I started honing my skills with redstone and was able to make fairly complex contraptions on my own without a guide. However, I had no idea of what was soon to come. Around December, I discovered command blocks. Command blocks are essentially ways for you to mess with the game's code with little to no limitations. Couple this with redstone and you have seemingly unlimited possibilities. However, command blocks do get very complicated, since you pretty much need to know how to code if you want to utilize them to their fullest potential. Lucky for me though, I had YouTube to guide me. After watching some tutorials, I learned a couple of cool tricks such as changing time, killing things, and most importantly, teleportation. By inputting a simple line of code along with the X, Y, and Z coordinates for location, you can teleport entities at the flick of a switch. This simple fact was enough to get me back into the game full time, and for good reason. I could make so many new things, and the 256 meter high sky was my only limit. Also, by this time, the magic behind AC Tennis's rocket was becoming a lot more clear to me. The secret behind it is that there are two different rockets, one in the air and one on the ground. Inside the rocket on the ground, there's a button that activates a line of commands that gradually changes the time of day to make the rocket appear as though it were ascending into the sky. When it turns night, there's a teleportation command that sends you to the rocket in the sky, which gives the illusion that the rocket is actually a functioning spacecraft. There are still a lot of other details that he included to make it feel more authentic, but I had finally figured out the basics of how it worked. Shortly after discovering the existence of command blocks, I found a video showcasing how to make a working TARDIS in Minecraft using teleportation commands. Now, if you don't know what the TARDIS is, it's a time machine from the TV show Doctor Who. It looks like a police call box on the outside, but on the inside, it's a huge, complex console room with lots of high-tech machinery. The thing that's so appealing to me about the TARDIS is that it manages to, through the use of portals in space-time, compress a seemingly endlessly large area inside of a small police call box. This idea was especially interesting to me at the time, so I did some more research on the source material. Funnily enough, I'm actually now a pretty big Doctor Doctor Who fan, so Minecraft, of all things, was what got me into this series in the first place. Anyway, I was absolutely fascinated by the concept behind the TARDIS. Not to mention, the TARDIS is practically the perfect concept for a build in Minecraft. The creativity built into the game allows for unique and complex interior design, while the concept of the TARDIS also gives straightforward guidelines to work with, leading to the creation of a template that allows for nearly infinite possibilities. Over the next few years, I built tens, maybe hundreds of TARDISes, all with different interior themes. I still liked making more standard redstone creations, but TARDISes were definitely one of the main reasons that I kept coming back to the game so often. Eventually, after a few years, I slowly started playing the game less and less, and I eventually dropped it almost entirely. It wasn't that I didn't like it anymore, or that I thought it was cringe or anything like that. I had just gotten a little bored of it. TARDISes alone were what kept me playing for so long, but one concept can only go so far, you know? I didn't really get back into it until the game's popularity got reignited in 2019, but even then, I wasn't nearly as into it as everyone else. As you can probably already tell, I was never much of a survival guy. I always preferred creative. If I ever did a survival game, I'd never actually beat it, and I'd always focus more on building. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike survival. There's nothing quite like that feeling of satisfaction you get when you finish a multi-layered house that you single-handedly gathered all the materials for, but the freedom of creative mode led to creations that were a lot more satisfying for me in the end. Because of my slightly less enthusiastic stance on survival, the game mode that most everyone else is fond of, this massive reignition for the game was a little harder for me to relate to. I played a survival world with some of my friends, and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't the same level of enthusiasm I had for the game back in 2013 through 2016, and my stance pretty much stayed that way. Until recently. Yeah, I bet you forgot this was a Smash video, huh? Now it's time for me to talk about Steve and Smash. Now, my love for Smash is absolutely no secret at this point. I don't have nearly the same amount of history with it as I do with Minecraft, but I've been a fan of the series since 2012, being a casual player for most of it. However, soon after Ultimate was announced in 2018, I discovered the competitive side of the game, and I was intrigued by it. When I got Ultimate that year for Christmas, I started playing nearly every day and practicing all the time. I made my first Smash video in January of 2019, and from there, it was history. I'd have to say that Smash Ultimate is definitely my favorite fighting game, and is even up there as one of my favorite games of all time. So when you mix it with Minecraft, you get a recipe for pure, unfiltered hype. The skit you saw at the beginning of the video, although exaggerated, was pretty much accurate to my reaction. Yes, I was sleep deprived, and I very much did freak out, and even though I didn't call them, I did message my friends in all caps, and they did the same. I swear, when I saw those pink Enderman eyes, I felt my soul leave my body. I was so hype. The thing is, I really felt like Steve getting into Smash was so incredibly unlikely that I just never even bothered to put him on my list of my top 5 characters. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't have wanted him, but the sheer unlikeliness was enough for me to not even express any desire for him. But look at him. There he is. I still can't believe that this is real! So even though I never really expressed any desire for Steve, I'm still incredibly happy that he's in, and I feel this way for multiple reasons. When it comes to how I feel about him personally, I think it's safe to say that he's the first Smash Bros. DLC character that I feel genuinely excited for on a personal level. With the previous DLC characters, I was definitely excited, but never to this degree. I was usually just hyped that we'd be getting a new character in general, and it didn't matter to me who it was, because I knew that someone, somewhere, would be overjoyed by their inclusion, even if that person was never me. But this time, it was, and I'm extremely grateful to Sakurai, to Nintendo, to Mojang, to everyone for making this dream become a reality. It's a privilege to be able to get a character in Smash that resonates with you on so many levels, and I only wish that everybody could experience this feeling at least once. There really is no way that everyone can be pleased, but all we can do is hope that what's to come is good, and based on how things are looking right now, I'm sure they will be. I also believe that Steve is a great choice for other reasons as well. The previous 2 DLC characters were, well, far from groundbreaking, to put it nicely. And with all the revelations that occurred back in July, the Smash community was left in pieces, and we've since been scrambling to put it all back together. We're getting there, but it's going to take some time to heal. However, Steve was such a mind-blowing addition that even if people didn't personally want him, he was bound to reignite the passion for a large majority of people and bring a lot of us back together. I truly feel that no other character would have had this much of an impact. I mean, he literally broke Twitter. If that's not a clear sign that he was huge, then I don't know what is. So yeah, I'm beyond pleased with this character. The only thing I'd say I'm even close to disappointed about is the lack of C418 music. Sakurai explained that the original C418 music is too calming and slow to be used for a fighting game, but then you have the remix of Howlin' that plays in the trailer sounding like this. When the original that it's remixing sounds like this. Yeah, so why couldn't they have remixed the C418 songs like this? I don't know, it seems kind of fishy to me, and my theory is that the lack of C418 is due to legal reasons that Sakurai wasn't allowed to disclose, so he just came up with a lame excuse. But either way, the Minecraft Dungeons music is still great. I'm just a tiny bit disappointed that none of the original songs got in. But in the end, this doesn't take away from Challenger Pack 7 at all, and this is still definitely my favorite character inclusion so far. Also, remember how I said that I wasn't very enthusiastic for Minecraft until recently? Well, the Smash reveal inevitably brought me back to the game, and that actually led to me discovering a new creative mode hobby, making note block songs. I used to try and fiddle around with note blocks back in my older days, but I had no understanding of basic music theory, so the few songs that I made were really bad. Plus, making songs with note blocks actually takes a very long time, and back then, I just didn't have the patience for it. However, I now have a much better understanding of music theory, and I'm actually pretty good at listening to songs and picking out all the different harmonies, so I found that replicating them in Minecraft is actually really fun. My most recent song is Last Goodbye from Undertale. Someone that I found in the comments of a related video was asking for people to do songs for them, so I offered to help, and this was the song they requested. It was extremely fun to make, and I'm currently working on another song they requested. You know what? Why don't you guys leave suggestions in the comments for songs you want to see in Minecraft? Making these isn't easy, but I also have a lot of fun with them, so leave a suggestion and I might just make it. But back to what I was saying, Smash reignited my interest in Minecraft, and through it, I found a brand new way to enjoy the game. If it wasn't for Steve's reveal, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into Minecraft and discovered this new way of enjoying it, so this just gives me all the more reason to appreciate his inclusion. So yeah, that's how I feel about Steve and Smash. I'm sure some of you agree with me, but some of you might disagree. I know I'm very happy about Steve, but I know there are plenty of you who aren't, and again, to each their own. We should exercise our right to our own opinions by talking about why we feel the way we do, and I'd like to hear some of your guys' opinions. So please, feel free to leave a comment telling me what you think of Steve. Do you like him? Do you dislike him? I've heard a lot of people say that Steve got them back into Smash. Did something like that happen with any of you guys? The comments are always open, so feel free to start some discussions, and maybe I might just join in on the fun. Alright, I think that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, and if you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe. Thank you all for sticking to the end of this video, and most of all, thank you so much for watching.